Hi, everybody. Welcome to Behind the Scenes. And we are short but small but mighty today. So, our topic, it's always a funny topic to talk about something that seems so trite but causes so much pain and frustration for parents. And I think the messy bedroom is like one of those things. You hear about it and it's like, really? You're going to spend a whole conversation about the messy bedroom? But go to our Facebook page, our Facebook group, or anytime people submit questions, and there's always this kind of like huge crisis going on in a house around the messy bedroom. so, so we're going to talk about it. In my house, I have this very kind of amazing setup where the master bedroom is on the first floor and the kids' bedrooms are upstairs. And so I did my very best to never walk up there. And that was for my own mental well-being because one kid, you couldn't see floor. So she kind of felt like her storage unit was on the floor. I'm not exactly sure why. I don't believe it breeds mental wellness. And I pled with her, like, just that good feeling of walking to a room that's inviting. But, the few times I went up there, covered, completely covered. So I have no solutions other than I chose because I had the physical space to just not make it the deal. Like in my space downstairs, it drove me crazy with 5 kids and 2 adults and everybody leaving 2 pairs of shoes wherever they walked in. If it's 2 people, so fine, it's a few pair of shoes, but when you can no longer walk because there's shoes everywhere you go. So I just said, this was my deal. I said, I become insane when there are shoes everywhere. So just do it for me. Actually, just do it for you. Put them away. And everybody has a space to put their shoes. It's not like, well, where should I put them? Everybody has a place. So that was my like kind of pleading with them to see that there was a bigger picture here, which was your mother's sanity and beyond that, your own like kind of pleasantness in the house if there were shoes everywhere. So it kind of worked. Anyway, Kamaya's got a big smile on her face, so I can't wait to hear what she has to say.
I'm just smiling to project out. If you send it out, it will come back to you. Messy room. Okay, I'm really neat and organized, so the messy room drives me crazy. And so I taught my sons to manage me, and I had to yield a little bit. I'm like, okay, I won't expect your room to be as neat as my room is. But once it gets to a certain point, I need you to help mommy out and I need you to straighten it because I'm going to blow. I can't manage when it's past a certain amount. And if they don't do it and we agree upon a deadline, if they don't do it by the deadline, then I will clean their room. And me cleaning the room involves trash cans and the big black trash bags. And they don't want that to happen. So we go that route. As far as them leaving their mess in the rest of the house, that drives me crazy too, especially when they were early teens and tweens and they were still doing homework down in the public spaces. One time I went through the house and I picked up everyone's stuff and dumped it on their beds. And so when they came home, they just had piles and piles on their beds. And I didn't say a word. I just heard individually, what? And I went back in my room and I was very quiet and satisfied with myself. I'm going to send it down to Eka.
Good morning. So what I did when my girls were younger is I set up like cubbies like they had in school. And my husband built this so they had hooks for their coats and their backpacks and a little shelf to put shoes on and then a shelf above to put like mittens and hats. And most of the time that worked when they were younger. And when we finally got rid of it when they were older, they were really sad, even though, their shoes really didn't fit in there. And, so they were really kind of sad that the cubby went away. But then in their rooms, I had one that couldn't go to sleep unless her room was completely clean. And the other one who didn't even realize it was stuff all over her floor. So I would ask for her to clean her room. And it was, like not like Sue's house, but you walk up the stairs and my room is to the left and then they were down the hall. So I could actually not have to see their rooms. So if I actually saw her room, it was because I went down the hall, and she would say, well, if you don't like my room, then don't come down the hall. Yeah, really? Like that's going to help. So I will admit that after a while I would blow my stack and I would say like, you know what? I mean, I would say, I'd ask, please clean your room, please clean your room. And she wouldn't. And then when I'd finally like lose it, and then she'd clean her room. So once again, I'd be like, do I need to lose it for you to clean your room? And I remember going to parenting things and there was 2 schools of thought. One of them is it's your house, it's your rules. And the other school of thought was this is their space and let them do with it what they want. So I actually took both schools of thought until I couldn't take any more. But then what happened is my messy daughter went off to college. And because, you've heard me talk about her before, not always organized, not always on time, didn't get her housing stuff in. So she ended up in a triple that was actually a double room with 3 girls. And at that point, guess what? She had to learn to clean up after herself because there were 2 other girls and they were in a room that was like this big. So, now she's actually very organized and very clean. And I think that's what it took. So that's what I have. Jen,
okay, I'm going to jump in because I have a question for everybody. So at some point I taught everyone to do laundry because they used to get annoyed when they got the wrong socks or whatever. And I said, I have such an easy solution. Like, just do your own load and take your own clothes back. And they loved it because it's true. I just could never figure out whose clothes were whose, whatever. Anyway, I gave them each a laundry basket. And the problem for at least one kid, the same kid whose clothes are all over the floor, is I might wear it again. So what's the solution to clothes that don't need to be in the laundry basket yet, but aren't clean? Like, you don't put them back in the drawer. Like, what do you guys do? I'm curious. What's your system?
Fun fact, I am not currently sitting at a very strategic angle, so you do not see the couple of clothes I plan on re-wearing that I left on the ground.
Okay, Eka, I bet you have a system.
For my personal clothes?
Or yeah, tell us yours.
Okay, so mine is, I have this like little secret corner that I don't have to see. So if I, like, for instance, like this little sweatshirt right here, I might wear again because it's not really dirty. So what I may do is take it and put it in this little corner and then pull it out again on Wednesday. And it's a little corner I know is there, but I don't have to see it all the time. Does that make sense? So if I don't have to see it, then, or because I don't, like you said, I don't want to fold it up and put it away because it's been worn. But if I have this little corner, everyone needs like that little corner that nobody else can see, including yourself, unless you go to it.
Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you. And Jen has a suggestion. Yay, Jen.
Well, I don't know if it's a suggestion, but it is a coping strategy. I think in each of our rooms, there's something I loosely refer to as the clothing chair. It's just a chair that nobody ever sits in, but it's where the clothes go that you might wear again. And then the cat sits on it and it gets full of cat hair, and then you throw it down and you wash it.
That
But
is a
it's
great
like-
system. And if you have
goes
a
in the holding
a
pattern.
treadmill or an elliptical or anything, it also does the same purpose.
Exactly. It's something, it's never going to get used for the purpose of sitting in. Nobody's ever sat in that chair. But
I have that same system with food. I hate throwing out good food, but I know no one's going to eat it. But I
Yeah.
put it in the refrigerator until it starts to be bad, and then I throw it away, and I just feel so much better. Kamira, do you have a system for like lightly worn?
Yes. So for my husband and I, we have a big armoire, and on either side of it, which is out of view from the rest of the room, just like Eka, we have those little wooden butlers, and you can air out something you've previously worn. They're really for you to the night before to lay out your clothes so that you're so organized for the next day. Usually what I use mine for is to air out the clothes I've worn before, because mine is in the corner and you can't see. And you can't put too much on those because they can't hold too much weight. So at some point, you're going to have to take your clothes off. You can only put maybe a couple of outfits before it starts to topple. And you're like, okay, I'm going to clean this little corner. But I do like Eka. I have my sons, they have piles. No, that's the pile for this, and that's the pile for that. So you're not supposed to touch those piles at the foot of the bed. I guess that's as organized as they get about it. So they know that that's the pile of sweatshirts that hoodies I can wear again. It's not time to wash them.
It seems like there
Yeah,
should be a
do that
system for
too.
lightly worn. Like, so Lori, I'm going to share your comment in a little bit, but does anybody have a lightly worn system? Because it seems like, what's the woman who did the organizing? Like, everyone was reading her book and following her system. Does it give me love?
Marie Kondo.
Yes, thanks, Jessica. So does she have a system? Did anybody read her book? All right. Well, if you have any systems, share it. And then Jessica, we'll share Lori after you tell us what you do.
Am I going next or was okay? Okay. So as I said, I am definitely not sitting very strategically in frame so that you can't see most of my bedroom / office. I have piles. I have certain piles. I have a desk that just has what is it, everything, all of it. So many things. I have a drawer that's just full of tax stuff. I'm not I'm not the person to go to. I was the kid that got yelled at constantly for not picking up. I'm better about it now that I live on my own and have to move through the space. Now it's very designated, like I don't even know what this pile is for. I think it's just recycling that I keep forgetting to take outside. But it's out of sight and out of mind, which unfortunately means very much out of mind until I sit down and remember it's there.
Okay, so we've got so many different examples here. And the pile one is it's a funny one, Jessica.
Yeah,
but
it works for me.
You know where it is, right? Like you know where it is, but
yeah, I always know where my mouse is because it's always in the same random spot on my desk next to the very old birthday card, a large thing of Band-Aids.
Okay, so that system might make a mother crazy, but it works for you.
Yeah, I always know where the Tylenol is. It's next to the
I'm gonna put out there that we're gonna do some research about lightly worn and see if we can come back to all of you, maybe with an article even about systems. Because the truth is, when a room is set up with a place to put everything, odds are way higher that it's going to go somewhere than like nowhere, right? Well, it is higher, Jen. It might not be perfect, but if you have a place for your keys, they're more often than not going to be in the place you have. It doesn't mean you remember the system every time.
Sue, I'm going to tell you what my brother will often say when I say something like this, which is you are applying logic where logic is not called for.
All right.
Yeah, it might make sense to you, but in the teen brain, maybe not always. Just because there's a place for it doesn't mean it's going in that place.
No, it's true. It's like having the laundry basket, but the clothing's on the floor right next to it. It's true.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm going to share Lori's comment. Hey, Lori, always so fun to see you. I so needed this today. My teen still keeps a messy room at home, but his freshman dorm is immaculate. Oh, hope for all the parents. What am I doing wrong? He only cleaned his room when company was coming. Yes, clean clothes piled up on the floor. Ugh, I need a system. Well, you raised a kid who knows how to do it when it counts. So good for you. And Dee, hi, back to you, and hope you have a great day as well. Anybody have, Kamira. Oh, I'm tomorrow. Okay, note to everybody, I'm traveling on Wednesday. So Kamira and I swapped. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking to Bob Ferris, who is this very interesting researcher. He's a PhD sociologist who researches the social web of teenagers in high school. And he's been doing it for years. We've spoken to him before. Little fun fact, he's Anna Faris's brother, the actress. And he just has such interesting information about bullying and just the social jungle. And, it's not, his research isn't solution-based. It's more like a snapshot of what high school looks like. And I always find it so fascinating just to understand. I mean, one of my favorite things he said one time when we spoke to him is how little parity there is in relationships in middle school and high school. Like in their mapping out in their research, you tell who your best friend is, but there's no reciprocity. They have a different person that they say is their best friend. And like that was pretty consistent in his research, which is, I think it's just so interesting. I don't know what you do with it. but it's so interesting. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about bullying. We did that last Thursday also. And then just about the social pecking order. And Kamira, what's yours on Thursday?
On Thursday, we are talking substance use and addiction.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that was short and brief.
Yeah.
Jen, did you not go, Jen?
No, because there was chaos happening in my house, but
Okay,
I
so
could-
Jen's on. You're gonna wrap it up for us.
Okay, well, I'm going to close with a couple of strategies because we all have the same complaints, but I just have obviously the close the door strategy is a good one. At some point, you just close the door and walk away. But the rule I had was when hygiene gets compromised, then I get involved. I can't have ants in my house. I don't want moldy towels on the floor because you're going to get a staph infection. When it gets to that level, then I get involved. If it's just garden variety mess that I don't like, but you can tolerate, I'll close the door so I don't have to deal with it. And then when you do get to the point though where you have to intervene, I found this strategy worked really well, which is I would come in and I would hand them one big black garbage bag and say, fill this with trash, because I know you can. I look around, you can fill this. And I would give them another big bag and I say, fill this with things that somebody else can love. It's time to donate some things. There's plenty of stuff in here you're not wearing. Somebody else can use it because my kids don't want it to go to landfill if it doesn't have to. They all care about the environment. So do your job. Let's keep it out of the landfill. But that has to happen with some regularity because it just accumulates again and again and again. Oh, and one third thing is I have one no-fly zone that I try to keep in my house, which is with my kids call Command Central. It's my space where things were that I needed to have access to. And if people put stuff on there, woe betide them, then I would blow my stacks. I'm like, look, you want that permission slip signed for your field trip? I can't find it. Don't put anything here. This is my space. It's about like this big. It's like, really? Could you just give me that much in my own house? Could I have that much space? So that's all I have to offer. Also, I just want to throw out there that we're not done with Destination College yet. There's still time. We've had some talk here about people sending their kids off to college and learning to have a less messy room. That's not one of the topics we're covering at Destination College. Somehow they just learned that on their own. But everything else you need to know about getting them ready to go to college it's all out there for you, and you can get caught up. If you haven't seen the first few sessions, we'll send you the recordings. You can still jump on and get the live ones. I think we're on week 4 starting tomorrow night. So
one of my favorite topics, and Jen is going to be leading that. One of the topic is what happens after you click submit. So it's kind of like this mystery out there. Like, is there a system after it goes inside the admissions room? And there is, and we have admissions officers who are going to tell us what happens. So if you are as fascinated by that as I was the first time I heard that someone would tell me what happened, I mean, I just thought I'd won the lottery. Like, wow, you're going to tell us it's not a secret? So you too can find out if you sign up, and Jessica put the link in the chat. Thanks, everybody. I will not be here next week, but there will be, there will be a live next Monday. And I don't know if the topic is going to be dating, but we talked about it. So one of our people might not be on also. She did not think her kids would like her being part of the conversation, but we'll get back to you with that one. And also about the lightly worn clothing. Have a great week, everybody.